In today's video, we're going to return to your inner palace and we're going to discover a room for rituals. Now, obviously, if you're not a person who performs rituals, then it's probably a good idea to skip this video. But if you're into ceremonial magic in any way, or if you simply have a ritual practice and find it difficult to perform those rituals in the real world for whatever practical reason, maybe you don't have the space for it, or maybe it's difficult to get the privacy for it, then this is going to be a perfect room for performing those rituals. Now, the thing about this room is that it is not just one room, but many rooms in one, and you'll see how that works. But before we get started, two little things to mention. First of all, this is not the first video in this series, and I do recommend watching the first video in this series, the one where you're setting up the protective field around that entire kingdom where this inner palace is. You can find the link to that up above in the card that should appear right now, or down in the description. And then the second thing is that it's a good idea to already have an idea which deity or entity you would like to perform a ritual for before going into this. So if you have a pen and paper to hand, just write down the name of a particular deity or entity, and then think of some of the attributes that that particular deity or entity enjoys. Maybe a color, maybe a smell, maybe a type of music, maybe certain objects. And then you'll also need to know the sigil or symbol that best represents that deity or entity. Many deities and entities have traditional symbols or sigils attributed to them. You could certainly research that beforehand. But if this particular one doesn't, then feel free to just create one of your own, a symbol that you can associate with that particular entity. Alright, and with all of that set up, we should be ready to get started, so find a nice comfortable place to sit. If you find sitting difficult, then by all means find a good place to lie down and be comfortable, but try to find a position in which you're not going to be falling asleep very easily. If you can keep a straight back, if that's a possibility for you, then try indeed to sit straight. An ideal position might be sitting with your feet flat on the ground, and just let your eyes close gently, and we're going to focus once again on our breath. The in and the out of our breath happening naturally and rhythmically without us having to think about it. Just take a moment to notice your breath. And take a deep breath in and let it out. And in and out. And in and out. You're going to breathe just naturally, and we're going to focus our attention at the top of our head, and we'll let that focus just drop down towards our forehead, relaxing our forehead, and then down to our temples, the region around the ears, our eyes. Really relax those little muscles around the eyes. Relax your cheeks, relax your mouth, relax your jaw. You might want to give your jaw a little wiggle. Make sure it's fully relaxed. Let our attention drop down to our neck, and then relax any tension that might be held in your shoulders. Again, you might want to move them a little bit just to make sure that they are completely relaxed. Let your attention go down your arms, forearms, your hands and your fingers, and then down your back, down your chest, down to your stomach, down to your hips, down to your legs, your knees, calves, ankles, feet, and toes. Then we're going to bring our attention all the way back up through the body, all the way back up to the point between our eyebrows. And with your eyes closed, you can direct your gaze upwards towards that spot between your eyebrows, and allow that space to be a scrying mirror for you so that you can see objects and you can see scenes happening, and whatever it might be, just let those visions happen for you. And whatever it is you're seeing, just have a look around for a door. We're going to walk towards the door, open the door, and step through. You'll find another door, open the door, step through, and you'll find a third door with that familiar fresh breeze coming out from underneath it and that natural light. And we're going to reach out and open that door onto that familiar site of the entrance to your kingdom. And once again, we're going to walk forwards towards the palace that is situated at the center of the kingdom. And as you approach and arrive at the entrance, the doors to the palace open up, welcoming you inside. And this time we're going to look for a passage that leads to a large circular area surrounded with windows, and there is a door on the far side. It's a very elaborate door. And in the middle of this circular area, there's something that looks like some kind of stand, well, maybe something like a bird bath, standing right there in the center of this large circular area. This strange, small construction right in the center there is not filled with water. It's filled with what looks like sand. And what we're going to do is that we're going to point our finger and we're going to draw in the sand the symbol or sigil of one of the deities that we reminded ourselves of just earlier. Go ahead, draw that symbol, and look at what happens to the door when you do. The door shifts. Maybe there's a different light on it. The shape of it changes just slightly. Do you know that the change has happened? And what we're going to do is that we're going to walk towards that door and we're going to open it, and inside we're going to find the ritual area that has been consecrated and dedicated to that particular deity whose symbol you just drew in the sand. Just ahead of you there's an altar covered in the kinds of implements that you might use for a ritual to that particular deity. There's a bowl of incense that is appropriate for that deity. You can choose to light the incense, allow the smokes to rise upwards, and as your gaze rises with the smoke, you notice that the ceiling is like a vortex, leading all of the actions that you perform here in this ritual room upwards and outwards as an offering to the deity for whom the ritual is performed. Everything that you intend for that deity in here will be consecrated for that deity or entity and no one else. Now I'm just going to stay quiet now for a few moments just to allow you to enjoy spending some time in this room, getting the lights right, getting the smells right, getting the feelings right, getting every detail of the room just right for that deity. And as you finish up your ritual, you can thank the ritual space in any way that seems appropriate to you. And this is a place you can come to any time you wish to perform a ritual for a particular deity or entity when real-world conditions make it difficult for you to do so. And you can simply leave out of the door through which you arrived, back in that large circular antechamber, with that stand in the center, with that bowl full of sand, And you can see that the surface of the sand has already been scraped clean and smooth, ready for the next time that you choose to use it. And whichever entity you choose to call, you just need to draw its sigil in this sand, wait for the door to shift, and just walk towards the door and open it, and the room will be ready for you to perform whatever ritual to the entity which you just dialed into the sand, as it were. You can make your way back to the entrance of your palace and back outside. You can just start to feel your consciousness returning to your body, sitting wherever you're sitting or lying if you've been lying. You can choose to move your shoulders, move your body. Take a deep breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes and your jaw, and you can open your eyes and return to the waking world. There we are. I hope you enjoyed that process. I hope that it's useful for you and that you can make use of this ritual space going forward in your own practice. Please remember that these videos are sponsored entirely by the Foolish Fish members, whether it's through the YouTube memberships or through the Patreon memberships. And to that point, I'd like to especially thank those Level Infinity members: David Venturini, Caitlin Kopok, Aritz Murueta Ramos, Danny Barr, Eamon, Linda Hendricks, Stephen Hunter, and Susanna Red Elves. And also, naturally, a very special thank you to the Level 3 Magister Venerabilis members, whose names you can see scrolling up on the left. If you'd like a personal one-to-one conversation with me, whether it's just to ask me some general advice, or if you'd like me to read your tarot cards, then the links to do all of that are mentioned down in the description and also in the pinned comment down below. Once again, I really hope that you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.